And the funny thing is, I read those on Audible, the originals
Okay.
at least. So the funny thing is, I did not read Lightning Thief until the first season of the show came out.
No!
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the Invested Introverts podcast. I'm Logan.
And I'm Riley.
Sorry about my water bottle. It is shaking while I'm talking because I took a sip. So, Riley, what's been going on in your life recently?
I mean, aside from us seeing one of our favorite authors, which we will get to in a minute,
That's what the whole
otherwise,
podcast is about
exactly this
today,
entire
the
episode.
episode,
Other than that, I am just, trying to finish Paranisi. I've got about, I want to say 40 pages. So hopefully either after we're done this or tomorrow, I'll be able to finish it. And next episode after this will most likely be that one.
which is probably, hopefully, next week. Or maybe we'll
Yeah.
pre-record. We'll see. That is awesome. How's work? How's life? Are you taking care of yourself?
Yes, I am. I know we talked about the other day I wasn't feeling great, but I feel a lot better. I'm working on taking care of myself. It's obviously a work in progress.
We're both 25. We're basically siblings. We're doing our best, trying to take care of ourselves. Uh, I get texts from Riley. I'm like, dude, I hope you know I'm concerned. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but we're doing our best, I think. Life updates for me. I'm in a show.
Nice.
Okay, so I'm in a show. Oh, it's called Strange Aculoids. I Aeons. Um, and it's part of a like series by the director, and there's other ones, and it connects Edgar Allan Poe, Mary Shelley, uh others that I can't think of. Maybe we'll do an episode about the books that are connected with that because it's literature and they're all connected by these authors who are actually connected in real life. And I just got promoted in my role. I originally was going to be the Empress, and this year it's based off of the tarot deck. And now, because I didn't text, I emailed. I was like, "Hey, did you get the Magician?" And I was offered the role, and I asked, I was like, "Do you want me to take this on?" And the director, Reuter, I love him. I love his family. I love his wife. I love his child. I love them as a whole, and that whole production company. It's immersive, so it kind of reminds people of a haunted house. And now I am the magician, so it's really interesting. And I still have my own. There's three like tracks you can follow. It's really cool. What else? Oh my God, my knees. Last week I went to the doctor finally. About my knees, Riley, you know I've been having knee pain. If you don't know, if you don't follow me on TikTok, I talk about like I've been struggling with here and there. I've been struggling with knee pain. And I found out that my knee caps go into the rest of my knee. And I found out today because I went to my PT evaluation. Now I have to go once, two times a week. Um, that my kneecaps are so loose. I'm sorry if that's gross, but they are. So I wear braces on them and it looks funny. Everyone thinks I'm rollerblading. Did you think I was rollerblading when you saw my knees?
Yeah, when I saw you with the knee guards, I'm like, I know something was up because I know you talked about your knee problems and stuff, but I was like, okay, that's new.
You're like, shit, she
Yeah.
has knee problems, but she took up rollerblading? I'm gonna pick up rollerblading now. Everyone thinks I'm rollerblading. I'm gonna pick it up. Also my puppy, Tinkerbell, she just she graduated last week or 2 weeks ago from puppy classes that we take at PetSmarts. And next week she's starting intermediate class. So she's doing more puppy training. Currently, she's chilling with treats. She's so smart, so great. Also, Riley has an amazing dog that I love.
Yeah, Nyla.
I love her so much.
Mhm.
I've only met her once, but I do love her.
Yeah, she is good.
Yeah.
She's a husky lab mix, but the funny thing is, I know we talked about this, but everyone thinks she's a border collie, and for some reason, everyone thinks she's a border collie, and it's completely understandable. Like just the way her fur is and the way her body shape and everything, she does look
Beautiful.
border collie. But she's not. She's like husky lab mix, and we did a DNA test a while ago, and she has like Australian cattle dog or like something like that in there. So she's very high energy, and you should see my backyard. It looks like minefield just went up because
Oh, mine too.
she digs when she's bored. So there's just holes and stuff all through our backyard, and I mean I love her to death, but she is very high maintenance a lot of
Oh
the
my God,
time.
yeah. When I found out she was a husky mix, I was assuming she was gonna talk. Like
Mhm.
when I met her, I'm like, oh my God, I haven't seen like a husky in person since I was little because my uncle had a husky. I'm like, oh, they're chatty, I think. I don't remember the husky, but I know this husky exists. She was so calm and gentle, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. I love her because we I hung out for with Riley on his birthday, and it was great. I gave him
Mhm.
a gift card to buy books because I was like, if I can't buy books, Riley can buy books. Though I did just buy books. It's Hispanic Heritage Month. But yeah, we love dogs. So Riley, you hinted at what we're talking about in this episode. It's really important to us. It's about, a little indie book series by two indie authors. Riley, are you ready
You
to
guys,
take it away about our indie authors
you
and this
guys,
indie book series that we love?
you guys may or may not have heard of these authors, but Rick Riordan and Mark Oshiro, we got to see the two of them at a book signing event in Philadelphia, and it was absolutely great. We had such a fun time doing this. It was a really fun adventure, and Mark and Rick were so funny and so like into having the crowd participate and everything. It was such a fun event, and I'm so glad that we went to this.
Yeah. And we had matching outfits. Riley first tried to look for them at Five Below because they keep saying they're at Five Below.
Yeah, couldn't find them.
They keep saying, "Oh, all these fun things are at Five Below, not our Five Below." Wait, we had two different Five Belows.
Yeah, I went to the one near me. I don't know
The
which
one
one
near
you
me
went
doesn't
to.
have it.
Unless they're talking about some other Five Below that's farther away, the two we checked didn't have them.
We checked the ones that are closest to us,
Exactly.
and Riley bought the tickets. Thank you, Riley. But I found this event, and I was like, I have to tell someone. So I sent it to Riley because I need to go
Mhm.
because I've been reading Percy Jackson since I was in fifth grade, and as a person who I struggle myself with reading, like I cannot read phonetically. I don't. I'm not diagnosed with a reading disability, but like I am unable to read phonetically, which means sounding out the words to understand what the word makes together. Yep, that's
Yeah, no,
phonics.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean. I hope that's clear enough for people. And I'm a performer. I have to read lines all the time and memorize lines, and I don't know what some words are pronounced like. And I know regional accents are a thing. So I learn things from people saying it. Reading a character who has dyslexia, which I don't know if I'm diagnosed with that. I'm not diagnosed. Was really interesting for me. And also as a person who struggled with reading for so long that I found something. It was one of the book series that really got me into it. Riley, when did you start reading Percy Jackson? Since we're the
So,
same age,
yeah.
did you start it before me?
So the funny thing is, and I'm really weird to
You
admit
did.
this, I never read the original five books. I started with Heroes of Olympus. That was the first one I got. So I don't I yeah, I started with
Were you reading Harry Potter instead?
no, I
Oh my,
wasn't.
what were you reading?
So weirdly enough, I was really into like Maximum Ride.
Oh
That
my
was
God,
one I
I
was
read that
reading.
too.
Yeah.
But I read that like online.
So the funny thing is, I'm going back through that series. Um,
I
I
noticed.
read, yeah, I read the
Check out
original.
his Goodreads.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'll link everything to my Goodreads and Logan's, in the comments.
You're going
But
back through the series.
yeah, I'm going back through the series, and I read the original three books, which
Me
I read.
too.
Yeah, I read those well, earlier, but I never. What he did was he broke it into like almost three mini series. He's got the original three books, which were Angel Experiment, Saving the World and Other Extreme Sports, and
So
School's
that's
Out
where you
Forever.
started. You didn't. So you're busy reading those three
Yeah.
instead of Percy Jackson.
So
You
I
jumped into
was
Hero Olympus as it was being
yes.
published.
Yeah. So
Oh, so you read Hero Olympus at the same time as me.
yeah, I read it around the same time and I was, really into it. And then I kind of backtracked and read the originals.
Oh my, oh my
It
God,
was so
that's
weird.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah. And the funny thing is, I read those on Audible, the originals
Okay.
at least. So the funny thing is, I did not read Lightning Thief until the first season of the show came out.
No.
Yes. Yeah.
God.
Yeah. I never read Lightning Thief up until the show came out and I read it and I listened to it for obviously the show. But I'm gonna re-listen to when the second season gets out, and we'll talk about that later. I'm gonna planning on re-listening to Sea Monsters, and eventually
Oh,
when we get season three, obviously Titan's Curse.
oh my
But that was the
God.
funny thing, and I was either reading that, I was either reading uh Artemis Fowl 2. That was
Okay.
I really
I didn't
liked
read
that.
that, but I know of that.
And then there was another series I really enjoyed, which was The Ranger's Apprentice by John Flanagan, which was a very fun series. I'm pretty sure it's still going on. He's still
Oh,
putting out books, but that's been going on for a while. But those were the couple of series that I read before I actually jumped into Percy Jackson, and obviously now I'm completely
yes.
obsessed with it.
Who got you into Percy Jackson? I want
Mostly
you to
my
answer
mom.
this first. Your mom.
Yeah.
Oh, I
So
love your mom.
she's in English. Just going back to the dyslexia thing real quick. I'm actually dyslexic. I thought
You're
I got di
dyslexic?
Yes.
We both
Yes.
have reading stuff. I
Exactly.
didn't know that. Oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm learning so much about you. Wait, continue. Actually, I'm so curious. Tell me
Okay.
more about it.
So I got diagnosed, you know, I forget exactly when, but it was very early on. It was definitely in like elementary school. So
Okay.
I was in those like pull out English classes, English and
Me
math.
too.
Yeah. So reading was always a struggle, but it was Percy Jackson, Artemis Fowl, and those couple series that really got me into reading. And as obviously I've gotten older, I've, read more and I still struggle with reading, admittedly, but it's gotten significantly better. And but the two big readers in my house are obviously myself and my mom. My brother and sister don't, really read that much,
Hmm.
but overall, I'm probably the one who reads the most. But reading just helps me so much. It helps me relax a lot of the time, and I really enjoy it. So obviously, the dyslexia thing has, affected me reading, but as I've gotten older, it's definitely, I wouldn't say lessened. Obviously, I still struggle with it a little bit, but it's definitely helped me push through it at the very least.
Oh my God. I was in Title One. Does
I
like your area have something like that? I was in Title One. That's what they called the thing that they pulled out kids for. Like that was my specific grouping for. I
I
was in it for English and then math until I tested out the math one because I'm really good with math. I also had a speech pathologist, a speech teacher for a bit because I don't say my th's right. I do a f sound, but it's a very like it. I'm whatever. But yeah, as a reader, I'm really good at I can pick up context
Mhm.
very well. Um, Context clues, I'm really good at reading between the lines. So even if I don't get a word, like if it's a book in a fantasy book, and my friend asked me this, one of my close friends, other than you, um, she asked me, she's a little bit older than me, and she is a special ed teacher. She was like, Logan, how do you read these big words? Because I know you read fantasy. And like, I skipped through it. And I know I do. I skipped through it and I know it's the title or the land or whatever. And I am really good at context clues. I also grew up bilingual. I grew up speaking Spanish, if you don't know. I'm half Puerto Rican, proud. I'm also Irish, German, Austrian from my mom's side. So my dad's from the island, and I grew up speaking Spanish. So I'm very good at getting information through context. But the thing is, they figured out, my one teacher figured out what I was doing for reading, other than I struggled to read, like reading out loud. I would do it and I was excited for it. I wasn't good at it. My teacher realized I was changing the stories. I didn't like the stories, I would change them. So my
Uh,
mom, up until fifth grade, had the textbook, the big textbook, now they do it on Chromebooks, of what book we're reading. And she would read with me every single night. In fourth and fifth grade, I got moved out of Title One, but I'd still go to summer school to support me because my mom, I'm so grateful. She gave me so much accessibility, and I think that's so important. But I would read these books every single night. And there was this one story about this kid who, this girl he liked was sick, and he wanted to give her an invitation. And he walked to the mailbox to like deliver it. And I kept telling my mom, I was like, if he really liked her, he would he would get her address and go to her house. And my mom's like, that's not how the story goes. So she would constantly have to like quiz me on this. And then for summer reading, my mom would make me read the books, all the summer reading books, or like ones that, because I kept getting the same like pods or groupings that my older sister got. So we pre-read some of the books for the school for that year. Even if I didn't want to, she would read them to me. Or I would look at the page while she reads them with me. I read Johnny Tremaine and I didn't have to read it in school. And it's okay book. It's historical fiction. I was so mad. What is your experience of like, because I think Percy Jackson is a great segue into this. I know we're talking a lot about this and not the book, but like I want to hear what was your experience like?
I didn't necessarily change the story. I would just struggle with more pronunciation than anything else.
Me too.
So a lot of the time I would just sort of skip words and like, and obviously I'm okay with, context, like you said, but it would take me like, I would take me a minute or two to be like, either pronounce the word and then use context, if where it's like where it is in the sentence or how they're using it to understand like, okay, this, and sometimes I would be wrong, but a lot of the time I could, more or less muscle my way through it.
Yeah, some days I can't recognize like words I've seen on the daily. Do you have that? Like you can't recognize words you've seen before and they're not like complex octogenarian. Like I can recognize the word octogenarian anywhere and I know the meaning, but I can't recognize. One day I was reading to a student and I read waffle instead of whale.
Okay, not to laugh, but I understand the feeling.
Yeah, like sometimes I can't recognize these the words
Yeah,
because
no, I've done that.
I memorize these words. I don't sound them out. Yes?
Oh yeah, I've definitely done that before.
Okay. So can you sound things out? Can you do
Yes.
phonics?
Yeah,
Oh
I can
wow.
do phonics and stuff.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, Riley, if I ever need something phonetically read, if I don't have my mom, I might come to
Mhm.
you because I just
I'm
look
the
at it and
guy.
say, but we have to continue. Okay, so
Okay.
we got Riley got the tickets. I got her shirts. I got cute earrings that you couldn't see because my hair was down and then it was up. Of the Hades marking, the logo. Not logo. What is it? Symbol. Hades symbol. I was gonna get pomegranate earrings, but the tax was $1,000 on Etsy, and I said no. And I told Riley, and he laughed.
Like where was that? Where was that from?
I don't even know. I'll give you the information. You can put it on the screen.
Okay. The only the only way that kind of makes sense to me is if it's shipping from like Europe. That's it. If it's shipping,
Gotten things from Europe, and they're not that expensive from Etsy.
then I have absolutely no clue where you would have gotten that from. That the shipping would be like that.
No idea.
Okay,
And I don't
Etsy.
have that kind of money.
All right, weird Etsy prices aside, we got to get back on track
We have to
with
get okay.
the
So
event.
it comes the day. It's my first day wearing my braces. Then we're waiting for the train. I'm looking at the wrong schedule, and Riley's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm supposed to be the navigator. In my brain, I set myself as the navigator. I'm the satyr. I'm the navigator. I don't have a godly house. I'm sorry. I'm a satyr.
So jumping in there, I am a proud child of Hades.
I'm a satyr. I've like when I wrote my fan fiction, I was a satyr.
I don't know. I relate to Nico a lot, so this is totally why I enjoy these books.
Mm.
And we can talk about Nico's character maybe in another episode.
Yeah, we can do a whole episode about the first of the Nico D'Angelo
Yeah,
adventures and then the second one.
but
So we get there. I guided us there, and I was like, "Oh, it's a straight walk." Then when we get there, we get to the Temple University campus because that's where they're holding it. They're holding it at the
it's at
athletic center.
Drexel. It was at
Yeah,
Drexel.
Drexel. Oh,
Yeah,
Drexel. Why did I say Temple?
I have no
Because
idea.
they're both in Philly.
Yeah, well, it's Drexel, um, Drexel Temple, and I think uh, is it Rutgers? It's like
Y
they're
There's Rutgers,
all
Camden, and Rutgers, New Brunswick. I don't
yeah.
think unless they're. I know Westchester has a campus. In Philly. So we get there. I keep going in the wrong doors because I'm a
Mhm.
fool.
Well, we weren't the only ones who were doing that. We were just kind of following groups of people
Oh
that also had the Camp Half-Blood t-shirts.
my God, yeah. We were getting our steps in.
Hmm.
We get in. Riley is trying to get his phone open to get our tickets. And Riley didn't know if we got books with our ticket. But
Yeah,
luckily I checked the website
yeah.
because I've been to like one other book event. It was for Connor Franta. It was his first poetry book, and you got to book it. You got it signed booked, and then you took a picture with him. And I thought it was that kind of event because I didn't read it.
Yeah, that's the other two events I went to for Christopher Paolini and Pierce Brown. That's how they did it. You bought the book ahead of time, you brought it there, they signed
Oh,
it, and then you could also bring other books from them that they would
I've heard of
sign.
events like that.
Because those were the only two I had any sort of,
Mhm.
experience with, that's what I thought it was going to be. But apparently I was wrong.
I've only been to one where you buy the book. I think it's pre-signed or it's signed at the event, and then you wait in line and get pictures. So we got there. Riley finally gets his phone to work because Wi-Fi. Sometimes it's rough.
Um,
First world problems. We get it. We get our books and we get a little silver baggie. And we got our beautiful books. I'm like, I don't know how I feel about sprayed edges, but these are cute.
oh yeah,
Are you a
hold on.
sprayed edged person? Do you like sprayed edges?
I I I could go either way. I really enjoy this with the Griffin on the side, but the one book that I'm really into, Catabasis, Arquon's book, beautiful sprayed edges. I love it. For the most part, I go either way.
Yeah.
I just feel like if you're gonna do sprayed edges, it's gonna kind of have to match whatever the book
Yes.
is. It
It
can't
has
just
to
be
match the
like
vibe.
random.
So true.
All
And
right,
like the first one has black sprayed edges. Then I'm like, let's look at Mitch. I get in line. I see someone I know. I see a worker from our local bookstore because we only have one local bookstore. And it's not like,
unfortunately.
unfortunately, it's not an indie bookstore. There's one on the island, um, in Ocean City.
I've been there a couple of times. It's not bad. It's very
It's like,
small,
yeah. And
but it's
so
not bad.
the event is hosted by Books a Million, my favorite bookstore. I like the format of the layout of the store personally. Like I'm particular. I'm weird.
Mhm.
So we get in line. I'm like, I'm gonna get some stuff. And I see this worker and I'm like, oh my God, she worked with my mom when my mom worked at our local bookstore. My mom worked there on and off for a few years. So when I go into that bookstore, last time I went there, someone asked me where the politics section
Oh,
was, and I knew, and I double checked with another worker who I know personally, and I was like, "Hey, Dee, is this where it is?" And she said, "Yes, it is," and I was so proud of myself. So I saw Queen Cat from Books a Million, and she's like supporting me buying these things. So I And Riley, I don't even know where Riley is. I'm in my own zone. I'm getting
Mhm.
uh Percy Jackson Greek gods, and then I get Greek heroes. And I'm like, I don't have this, but I keep looking at it and taking pictures of it. Then the sun and the star, there is a version. There's a version there. And she's like, you should buy it. And I said, why? She's like, it's signed. And it's only the same price that you normally get it. And I'm like, I already have it. She's like, but it's the only chance to get it signed. I'm like, you're so right. Then I get a Percy Jackson Funko Pops because I have tons of Funko Pops. Maybe I'll take a picture and show. Maybe I'll do a Funko Pop haul. Who knows? I have tons. So I had to get Percy. We love him. We love the actor who plays Percy. He's
Mhm.
fantastic.
Walker and
We do
Logan
love
Lerman.
Logan Lerman, though we don't support that movie that we pretend that movie
Okay,
doesn't
okay.
exist.
Tangent here. I think Logan Lerman would have been a really good Percy for
We are
Heroes of
in the same boat.
Olympus.
We are in the same boat.
Yeah.
I agree. Was too old though. But we can do a separate thing, like literally talking about Percy Jackson the movie. Then I get a sword. I check out. I get a bag for $2. And then Riley's like, I'm going off somewhere, and I'm like, I get a pretzel. We go in. I get our seats. And all the seats that are close up in like a good angle, they're taken. I get it
We were in
pretty
like the
decent.
second or third row.
Yeah.
We were pretty,
On when you enter, it's a gymnasium. When
yeah.
you enter, we were on like the side closest to
We
the
were on the
bathrooms.
left side, I
We're
think.
on the left side.
Yeah.
Um, so we don't know what to expect. I'm like, hey, what if we open our little bags? I'm like, I bet this is a pin. It was a pin. Now, Riley, talk about your feelings, your thoughts. You were going to take this over of what actually the event, how it started. What was it like?
So they ran it very interestingly. It was like a court trial. They have someone
Yeah.
dressed up as a judge, and they had this one guy in like skeleton makeup escorting Mark and Rick to where they had the little seating area set up, which I think this was a really like fun event. And I think the format of it was really good because it came off more like an it wasn't necessarily it came off less like a TED talk and more like a conversation between everyone. It was a very good, I think, format and way to run the event as opposed to like just a straight up Mark and Rick just like sitting down and talking. I don't know. I appreciated how they ran it, at
Or
least.
like us waiting in line, meet them for a second, go off.
Yeah, do something like that. No, I really liked it. And we'll next little bit we'll get into what they actually talked about. The main thing they talked about was I guess in the theme of the book, I haven't started it yet, but it was
Neither have
like
I.
the judge was talking about how they've changed and that mortals like cannot change or should not change because, everything's going to end, so what's the point of changing? And I feel like that was such an interesting sort of way to frame all of that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah,
Because change is scary. And
exactly.
they changed a lot, such as they both were musicians at some point. They were both in a band, two separate bands.
Mm.
They also are two such different people of different backgrounds. Like Mark, they are Latinx, they are queer. They write all over the spectrum of what they feel like, which I loved how they're like, I write what I feel like. I'm gonna write all across the board, and write to find help people find representation within their own books. Being like, I didn't see myself here. Let me create some representation so younger generations can see themselves in literature. While Rick,
Has mostly just stuck with Percy Jackson. He did do I remember this. I forget which one, but he wrote one of the 39 Clues books.
I was thinking that you read my mind.
I forget which one it
I've
was.
never read the series.
I've read a couple of the books. That was another series that I enjoyed, but he wrote one of them, and for the most part, it's just been the either the main Percy Jackson slash Heroes of Olympus series and all of his other stuff, And then more recently, obviously, he did the whole Rick Riordan Presents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which they are all, which like Rick Riordan does mythology, and some of the people who are in Rick Riordan Presents does mythos that is
Yeah,
not
they're
highly represented.
yeah. And he talked about that a little, like why he did the whole Presents thing. And it was because he didn't really feel comfortable in like representing those mythologies and those cultures if it wasn't like a part of his background. Because I mean, you can do the research, obviously, but if you're not really, if you didn't really grow up in that environment, it wouldn't feel as authentic as opposed to someone who actually, what like learned that from a young age,
Oh my God,
obviously.
yes, like the importance of our stories, or like
Exactly.
which like Rick Riordan, literally, Mark even said that like so many authors are now finally having diversity, or they barely have diversity. But you know who had it since day one, since
The
I've
jump,
been reading it,
Rick.
is our king.
Yeah.
They talk about how they change, and they talk about there's pictures on the screen. So there's like a jumbotron, and there's pictures on the screen of like pictures that people have taken from their childhood, from their different life-changing events, and there's specifically specific changes that they state in the beginning that the judges has them here on court on death row, which is crazy. And it's so fun, and like I'm taking pictures of the screens. How do they really tell them how they end it? Not end the whole experience, but like the judge part.
So they ended with uh I don't I don't know if I recorded this. I forget if I did or not.
I don't know if I did.
I don't think either of us did.
No,
But
we're too
it
focused.
ends with Hades, the judge getting a call from Hades, and he's like, yo, cut it out. These guys have been through enough. They've proven their point. I want you to come down here and we need to talk about that.
And you can't do this without, are you doing this without my permission? And the person who is a skeleton is now
Takes over the
asking,
event.
takes over the event, is the one who was doing the little, the hang next on the
Yeah,
laptop.
on the slideshow.
Um, and they got questions from the people, some people who bought tickets were given the opportunity to ask questions. It wasn't like, here's a mic, ask a question. That would have been
Mhm.
cool. But
Yeah, it
they
would have
got
been.
to pre-submit questions. They're busy. They have a lot of places to go to. And what they talked about was really interesting, right?
Yeah. I know the one big thing, the one question was I think it was for Rick, I'm pretty sure. He said someone asked who was his favorite character, and he said Leo, and I everyone
Oh
lost
my
it at
God,
that.
so did Mark. It was a question for both of them.
Yeah.
And Mark is like, you better start getting ready.
Mhm.
And they both said Leo. And I was like, Happy Hispanic Heritage Month. That's why I kept yelling. And I love Leo. Leo is,
He's
I'm in love
funny.
with Leo. Leo was fun.
I love the part I think it was Mark of Athena where
Yes.
he's with Narcissus and he's just like bad boy supreme and all
Yeah.
that. That was
So good.
oh my God, he's such a
So
funny
good.
character
He's such,
and Rick did such a great job writing him
I love him so much.
in those books. He was so
Yeah.
funny.
And they all some audience member that was
Mhm.
pre-typed asked them what is their godly parents, specifically to Mark, I believe.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
Mark
yeah.
was like Hades, and it was like I am Nico. If
Mhm.
the like
That
I'm like, ah, classic. I love Nico. I think you love Nico. Nico
oh
is
yeah,
just my baby
he's
bean.
yeah.
I love Nico like a little brother. And like when the casting came out, I was like, "Oh my God, that's baby Nico!"
Oh God,
I
yeah.
was excited because I was just like, "Oh my God, that's my little brother. That's my little son." But they were also asked, what were they asked that was so important? There's two things that like towards the end that is so important to this beautiful. this beautiful thing.
So I know one of the questions was, is there going to be a third book? And they said they 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 didn't confirm it, but they at least hinted at the fact that there is going to be a third book.
Yeah.
And I am really hyped for that because obviously we both enjoyed book one. I haven't, like we said, we haven't gotten to book two yet. I really enjoyed that they brought Hazel back for this.
Yes.
And some of the stuff they talked about was what do monsters do if they're given the choice not to be monsters? That's, I guess, kind of the thesis of this book, which I'm really interested in because obviously the Minotaur is in this. He's on the cover, so I don't
Yeah.
think it's a big spoiler. So he was obviously the first monster that, aside from Dodds, obviously,
Yeah.
he was the first monster that Percy actually, defeated. So he's been here since the jump, basically. So it's good to see him back after he kind of had a lackluster appearance in The Last Olympian. He was just kind of there as a cameo more than anything else.
Hmm.
But I'm really interested to get into this. And yeah,
And they also looked through like Greek mythical creatures or creatures in the mythos of like Greek and Roman that they haven't
gotten
touched
to.
yet. And yeah, gone to. And the way they talked about like how they didn't want to just do like a little cameo of Hazel in the first book. They literally said that they didn't want to just like throw her in, throw her out, like they what they did to the Minotaur. Which now we're getting more stuff, which is great. And Hazel, I'm hoping, is more involved since she's on the cover. And
Yeah,
that's gonna be really interesting. And they left it at the end that it can be built upon, which is really cool. Though we haven't, neither one of us read it. We're gonna read it. It's gonna be one of our book
reuse. Yeah,
reads reviews
yeah,
podcast episodes. Well, specifically, Rick talked about how they're currently filming season 3 of Percy
yeah.
Jackson.
So I want to jump in on this.
Okay, go.
So obviously we have season two coming out in December. Hyped for that. We're gonna do an entire episode breaking down the season. But the fact that they're doing season three like they're filming season three this close to season two is great. Because now the fact that they're in the middle of filming, they said, I believe Rick said they were doing the dance scene from Yancey or
Yeah,
from Westover Hall. That's the school.
and like it was so impactful. I was
Mhm.
like, oh my God.
Like Rick said, the kid they got for Nico like did a great job. Which the fact that like he's got Rick's endorsement, and the
He's so
cast,
involved.
yeah,
And also the kids who are in it
are
are
great.
literally are reading they're children, but they're also reading the books. Like
Yeah.
our Percy was like, I just keeps reading it and reading it. And I'm like, yes, King.
Mhm. So the fact that they're in the middle of filming season three, we're not going to have a super long gap. So obviously season two is December. I I mean this might be a long shot, but we could possibly see like maybe the end of summer, early fall for season three if we
Yeah.
get incredibly lucky. It's a long shot, but that would be great if we somehow got those two seasons really close together. And here's the other thing. They're going to have to film seasons three and four really close together because season book three and four take place within the same year. Like they're
Yeah.
really close together. So they're going to have to almost film these back to back because they can't let too much time go by. So they got to move kind of fast for this, which I'm hyped for. And I know
Yeah.
the other thing they talked about was Rick talked about after Disney got the rights for Percy, he's like, yo, what do you guys want to see? And obviously the show did really well. And Disney was like, we want to do more stuff unrelated to Percy. And you remember he talked about that possible project uh with other characters
Other characters that are not the
are not
main
the main
ones we've seen,
guys. Yeah.
which is really cool with other authors. So we're getting more backgrounds, and it could be he's like, filming takes a long time, and I give credit to like everyone who does film. I want to do film. Riley wants to do film. He gave so much credit to the people who work so hard in the cast and like how much, but he's like, it could be like a book. He talked about how he's currently working on what book in the Percy Jackson series that he brought. He offered it to Disney. He says, "You have the I'll do this
The
if you
rights for this,
make the show." And they said, "You didn't have to." But he did
which
it anyway. He gave us
which
beautiful
ended
senior
up,
year
yeah,
Percy. And he says, "I'm working on that book right now." And I'm like, yes, because he needs to get 3 recommendation letters. 3!
so okay, here's the thing. I This might be jumping the gun for this, but I really hope that the third letter is from like Athena or Ares or someone
Oh
he,
my God, we talked about this. We wanted
yeah,
someone who was just like Percy,
just hates Percy
Dionysus,
on
I don't know.
principle.
Yeah,
Hates Percy on principle. So I would love it to be Athena or someone like that who isn't the biggest Percy fan and gives him like the most ridiculous thing to do. Obviously a long shot, but that would be my dream for
that's
that.
also my goal. And I'm so excited with going back to the
Mhm.
Nico show. We love Nico. That we're gonna see more of his and Will's relationship develop, which like so much development and like characterization because it was more first person than Rick usually writes. He
Yeah.
usually writes first person limited. I mean third person limited.
I don't think he's ever written first person.
Yeah, but like this is more. He said this is like first person. I forget. Is it first person? I'm looking at
I
the first.
don't think so.
I don't think so. This is third person limited.
Yeah.
But all he writes third person limited. I like first person personally. Like we're gonna see more of the character development of Nico because he is not just a sad struggling boy anymore. He is a strat ish. He has happiness. He has his
Yeah.
sunshine.
He's got will. Yeah.
He's got will. Uh, Seeing the backgrounds of these two characters, we also got to see like bits and pieces of like their relationship with Lester.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We saw bits of it, bits and pieces
For the
of like
trials to
it
follow.
becoming a thing. And now adding a sister dynamic of like having a sibling, you're in a relationship, your sister's in a relationship, and like seeing that dynamic, it's gonna be interesting because their last adventure it was only 2 of them, and you usually had 3 on a quest.
What else did he cover?
What else
Um,
did he? Oh, I don't know. I forget. Yeah, but that's what. It was a really good event.
no, it
Um,
was a lot of fun.
it was a lot of fun. Anything with Percy Jackson, that whole Percy
Universe.
universe, that mythos is so great to like get into and be involved. And having him collaborate with a person who has a completely different background is so cool and seeing like him give voices to other people, which I haven't read a lot of the books in that Rick Riordan presents. I think I'm gonna start reading some of those.
I've heard pretty good things, so
Yeah.
if I get a chance, I'll definitely, check out a few of them.
Yeah, I've been trying to read the authors I like their
The
older
full
stuff.
bibliography.
Yeah, but we're very glad. We're excited to read this. And then
Yeah,
we're going to do a podcast episode on that. And we're
obviously.
going to do a podcast episode on the other book because it's Riley's month to pick our book. And I'm like, I know, Riley, it's your month.
You'll be getting two book reviews. You'll be getting obviously Court of the Dead for October, and you'll get Piranesi. And when we finish the Piranesi book or the Piranesi episode, it'll be my pick, and we'll, see what I end up with.
Anything else, Riley? Give me
I
an update.
mean,
What are you reading before we end? We're grateful. We're excited to read. You're going to finish Piranesi. Let's finish off. What did you just finish? Did you finish anything recently that you can recommend us? What have you been ingesting? Anything new?
for for the most part, I'm still stuck on Piranesi and Catabasis. That since the last time,
I feel
obviously,
like you
I've
started Catabasis. I don't think we talked about Catabasis the last time.
no, I know I mentioned it over from what I was reading.
Yeah, you were talking about you're excited to start it, I think. I
Yeah,
don't.
I
It's been a
started
while.
it. I'm started it. I obviously I put it on hold a little bit to finish Piranesi, but I'm really enjoying both. Like I said before, I read R.F. Kuang's Poppy War and Babel. I haven't read Yellowface,
I read
but
Yellowface. That's the only one I read.
yeah, I haven't read her book Yellowface, but that's on my list to read. I really want to read that. But those are basically the two I've read. I have an idea on which book I want to pick, but it's going to be a toss up between like one or two.
Okay,
But
that's
for the
exciting.
Piranesi episode, I will officially pick a book
I was
that
gonna say you're gonna announce it.
not on this one, but
Okay.
at the end of Piranesi.
What was the book you were reading on the train that you briefly read and then just
Oh, that
choked?
was Piranesi.
Okay, I was gonna ask you on the train, but now I can know now. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
that
almost
was
on
that's
it.
Piranesi. Yeah, I got like 40-ish pages. I read some of it today before we recorded, but that is my goal. Maybe after this, I'm gonna try and finish that. Just
Mm.
so either next week or the week after we can, sit down, actually do the full review. But other than that, what are you up to? What are you
What am
reading?
I up to? What am I reading? I just finished the accomplice to the villain, and it had a cliffhanger, which honestly, I was just like, whoa. I finished today because I was in a reading slump. I was reading here and there. And next I'm gonna either start the Hex Girl book because that came out at BAM and I saw it when I went there, which is the Hex Girls, a Rose Thorn, which I love the Hex Girls from Scooby-Doo. So I'm either gonna start that or I'm gonna read the first book in Ice Planet Barbarian because I bought it for my friend, my other friend who I talked about earlier, who asked me how I read large words. So I bought it for her because she likes reading that genre of like romance books and spicy books. And I thought it was funny. And then she read it. She finally read it and she annotated it for me. So I need to read that and get my reaction of it. I might do on TikTok, I might not. I might just send her videos. But I have read something else by Ruby Dixon. I read her Minotaur book, and there's a second one out that I need to get. So, and I finished Piranesi.
Early thoughts. What was your reaction for Piranesi? Keep in mind, I haven't finished it.
I know,
So, I mean, give it like a,
slow paced.
okay, yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's slow paced. Yeah.
So
I've
out
also
of,
been reading like murder mysteries here and there. I'm also just started Bob's Burgers because I kept watching videos about it, so I was like, I guess I'll watch it. Yeah. That's what I've been reading and like what I've been ingesting lately. And that's the end of our third episode
all
about
right,
the beautiful universe for Nico de Angelo Adventures. So you can catch us on Instagram. We each have our own TikTok. We have a Instagram together, the invested introverts
Introverts
underscore
podcast.
podcast, which we post, and I am starting to do have fun things on Canva and posting things for our book club book. You can read with us or not. It's really your choice. We're not going to force you.
Yeah,
You can find us here on YouTube. If you like us, subscribe, watch. You can put some comments, give us book recommendations.
exactly. We're
We
always looking for good stuff. Put them in
we
the
are.
comments.
We hope you're
And
having a great time of day wherever you are. Drink some water, take care of yourself. Riley, do you have anything else to say that I did not say?
yeah, before we go, if you want to kind of follow us individually on what we're reading outside of our book clubs, obviously check out our Goodreads. I will, again, link everything in the comments.
I have a
But
Goodreads and a
that's it.
story graph.
So, other than that, that is it. We will see you guys next episode. I've been Riley,
I'm Logan.
and you guys have been listening to the or watching the Invested Introverts
Or
podcast,
listening.
whichever one you want.
Bye.
See ya.